Hello guys, and welcome back to another cold episode. On today's episode, we are back with some more KC Cup. First stage KC Cup of February 2020. What deck are we using? What deck have I been playing to climb? And it is Cyber Dragons without Cyber Dragon. This deck is incredibly fun. And it can be pretty big brain. And there's a lot of outplay potential. Now, what makes this deck so good are 4 separate cards. The ones that we are running 3 of. Cyber Dragon Core, Cyber Dragon Veer, Cyber Load Fusion, and Cybernetic Overflow. All of these cards are incredibly useful, and that's honestly the core of this deck, right? That is basically what you're wanting to focus on in the main deck. So let's talk about that. First of all, let's talk about Veer. What does this card do? Well, when a Cyber Dragon is normal or special summoned, you can special summon this card into defense position, and it boosts up all Cyber Dragons by 500 attack and defense. Really good. It also counts as a Cyber Dragon while on the field or in the graveyard, right? Pretty good, right? Now, why would we play this card without a Cyber Dragon? Well, because itself is a Cyber Dragon, and Core is also a Cyber Dragon. While on the field or in the graveyard, it's a Cyber Dragon. And when this card is normal summoned, you can add a Cyber spell or trap card from your deck to your hand. Now, what are we searching up? Cyber Load Fusion or Cybernetic Overflow. So, normal summon this card, normal summon Core, special summon Veer into defense position, grab up either Cybernetic Overflow or Cyber Load Fusion, depending on which one you don't have, right? Then, if you are going first, you will want to set both of them, right? On the opponent's turn, pop cards using Cybernetic Overflow. You can pop 2 different cards, right? That's what this effect does. I'll explain that in a second. Pop some cards. Then, you can also Cyber Load Fusion on their turn, since it is a quick play fusion spell. There you go. That's the main combo. Now, first and foremost, Cyber Load Fusion. What does this card do? You can fusion summon a fusion monster that lists Cyber Dragon as its material, or by shuffling materials listed on it into the deck from the field or the banish pile. Now, only that monster can attack that turn, but that's not that big a deal, right? Remember that. Only the fusion summoned monster can attack that turn, but it won't be that big of a deal most of the time, right? Then, with Cybernetic Overflow, this card, what it does is you can banish Cyber Dragons with different levels from your hand, face-up field, and or graveyard to destroy an equal number of cards your opponent controls, right? So, what you can do is you can, normal summon these 2, right? Or normal summon Core, special summon Veer, then set, right? On the opponent's turn, you pop 2 of their cards, similar to like a Treacherous Trap Hole. You could just activate this, pop the 2 by banishing these 2, and then you also fusion summon on their turn to pop, or to fusion summon into any of your fusion monsters by using this, right? By using these cards. Now, I guess not any of your fusion monsters, but the one that is important, which we'll get to in a second. Now, it does banish, right? But this one does shuffle in from the banish pile, so that's pretty useful. Now, also, if this card is destroyed, you can add a Cyber Spell or Trap card. So it has a pretty good floating effect. Not great, but pretty good. So if this card does get destroyed by any other card effect, right, pop it, grab up another Cyber Load Fusion or another Cybernetic Overflow, something like that, right? Now, the main card, the main boss monster that we are going to be summoning 90% of the time is Chimera Tech Rampage Dragon. Now, what this card does is you can, first of all, you can use any 2 Cyber Dragon monsters. It doesn't have to be Cyber Dragon, just any 2 Cyber Dragon monsters. meaning if these cards are banished, you can still fusion summon it. You can banish any of them in order to, or you can fuse with any of them in order to summon this. Now, when it's fusion summoned, you can target spell or trap cards on the field up to the number of fusion materials used for this fusion summon, right? So, fuse with this card during your opponent's turn to pop their back row that they were saving, right? That they were like, okay, I'll just set these cards and it'll be fine. No, not allowed. We're going to pop them. We're going to destroy them, right? And you can destroy 2 or 3 or 4 or however many cards on the field that you want to destroy. If you wanted to destroy your own, you could. There's no real need to. But I could see you playing this with like Ancient Gears as well to pop your own cards. Pretty useful. I might come up with a deck that revolves around that, but at the moment, we're just running this. Now, the main reason why this card is so good is because once per turn, you can send 2 light machine type monsters from your deck to your graveyard, and if you do, for each monster sent to the graveyard, this card gains 1 additional attack during each battle phase this turn, right? So, it can get up to 3 attacks by sending 2 of any of our monsters to the graveyard, right? So with that, you send it, you swing in for a potential 6,300 damage, right? That's pretty useful. Plus, it puts cards into the graveyard, which allows Cybernetic Overflow to work a little bit better, right? It actually allows you to banish from the graveyard, so you don't have to have a Cyber Dragon within your hand, right? Now, along with that, we are also playing Cyber Twin Dragon. Now, what this is you need 2 Cyber Dragons, and it can attack twice per turn. 2,800 beater. That's basically it. It attacks twice, also lethal, but it's more useful for getting rid of any of those pesky, like, Dark Magicians or something like that you can't quite get rid of with your Chimera Tech Rampage Dragon, right? And our out to Cocytus and other such cards that have really big defense is Cyber and Dragon. Now, how you summon this card is with 3 Cyber Dragons, right? All of these cards are Cyber Dragon on the field, but that's still pretty hard. Normally, we're only ever going to be able to summon 2, right? So how do we summon 3? With the skill Cyber style. For every 1,000 points you are below 4,000, you get to summon another Proto-Cyber Dragon onto the field, which is Cyber Dragon while on the field, right? It can't be tributed, but they can be fusion summoned, right? They can't be used as any other material, but they can be fusion summoned. So, what you do is you could summon up your core, you can summon up your Veer, you can take out a back row with your Cosmic Cyclone, that's 1,000. Then you can activate your Cyber Style, right? That allows you to get your Proto-Cyber Dragon onto the field. Then you fusion summon into your Cyber and Dragon and swing into your Cocytus, into your Ulti Petalfin, into your Ixchel, into your, what have you, right? Whatever it is, swing into it. And not only that, you inflict piercing battle damage. 4,000 attack, in piercing battle damage, destroy them, right? Now, what else do we have? We're running an extra Dre, Cyber Dragon Dre, simply because it is another Cyber Dragon on the field, and if the card is banished, you can target one of your Cyber Dragons on the field to protect it from destruction. Pretty good, right? Then the rest is just tech cards. Enemy Controller, Steals Games, Paleozoic Canadian Floodgate also are just really good cards at the moment. Came in really useful, but that's about it. The rest of these cards don't matter. If you have more Chimera Tech Rampage Dragons, run them, right? These are just to kind of fill up the field, right? You could summon a Chimera Tech Over Dragon. I mean, if you had like a ton of materials, you could do that. Right? Say you had all 7 of these guys somehow in the banish pile or on the field. then you could probably fusion summon for this guy and it would be worth it, but most of the time it's not. So let's hop into some replays and see how this deck actually works. Alright, so here we are up against a Dark Signer Rex Goodwin, and we are going second with a honestly pretty bad hand. We did happen to draw into a Dre, which is pretty good, but we still don't have a fusion. So there's no real point in using the Cyber style. So we're going to Cosmic Cyclone, the left card. Then we are going to set everything and summon up Dre. They're going to take out our middle card, which is a Cybernetic Overflow. We do have another one set, which is fine. He activates Shiranui Solitaire, comes forth with the Spectral Sword, and then I hugely misplay because I forgot that you can Synchro Summon from the grave with Shiranui. So I pop the Shiranui Spectral Sword, and it doesn't matter. He still Synchro Summons into a level 6 Shiranui Samurai Saga. Then he Synchro Summons again into Shogun Saga. Then we activate our enemy controller to flip it face down, and now he's got 0 defense. And we drew into a Cyber Load Fusion, which is an insane top deck, because now we can activate our skill, send Proto Cyber Dragon and our Dre to summon up Chimera Tech Rampage Dragon, pop the back row card, activate its effect, send 2 to the graveyard, and swing in for lethal. 3 attacks with Chimera Tech Rampage Dragon. Insane. And that's why enemy controller is also really good, because it does put things into defense position, and most cards have a lower defense than 2100. There you go. That's how you win. Let's hop into the next duel. Alright, here we are up against an Odeon. If we lose this, we're going to go down in a level. That's not good. We can't allow that. We're going to prevent that from happening. We're going to grab up our Cyber Load Fusion instead. Why did we do that? Well, because we have a double Cosmic Cyclone. Double Cosmic Cyclone will allow us to get 3 cards onto the field, or 3 Cyber Dragon onto the field, right? At the moment, we have one with Cyber Dragon Core, but then we can also use our skill to grab up 2 more after using double Cosmic Cyclone. So instead of grabbing up the Trap card to set the Trap card, we are going to grab up the Fusion card. So there you go. Then we have Floodgate Trap Hole. He activates. We are going to Floodgate the Amazonas Paladin. He's going to chain his baby tiger to it. Swing in. Does 100 damage. That's fine. We're going to Cosmic Cyclone the middle card, and then we are going to Cosmic Cyclone the right card, and we do happen to take out the Amazonas Onslaught, which is incredibly useful. We grab up the Cybernetic Overflow. We banish the Cyber Dragon Core, since we have no cards and they have, or since we have no dragons or monsters and they have monsters, allowing us to summon up Dre. Doesn't really matter what we summon up there. We're going to summon up Dre. Then we are going to Fusion Summon using the Cyber Dragon Core and one of the Proto Cyber Dragons in order to summon up Chimera Tech Rampage Dragon. We're going to take out that Wall of Disruption that is set as well. We're going to swing in. We're going to swing in. We're going to swing in. He has nothing. It is all a top deck situation, but it doesn't matter at 300 life points with the ability to pop a back row card with Cybernetic Overflow. We banish from the grave, pop it, swing in. We're going to banish 2 more because why not? Swing in for lethal. This deck is super fun. It does have weaknesses because its boss monster is 2100, but it is still incredibly powerful. And here we are once again on demotion point, but we're going to change that. We're going to grab up Core, Cyber Dragon Core, activate Cyber Dragon Veer's effect to summon up Veer. We're going to grab up Cybernetic Overflow. We're going to set both the Fusion spell and the Overflow and end our turn. We're going to activate Cyberload Overflow. He's going to chain Mask Change, which summons up his Fusion monster, and I think he was using that to dodge our Cybernetic Overflow's effect, but that's not how it works. So we take out his Fusion summon. Then, during his turn, still, we are going to summon up Chimera Tech Rampage Dragon to pop the back row card. Pop the Dimensional Prison. Then we are going to summon up Dre, just because we can. Then we're going to send 2 to the graveyard and swing in for lethal. It's like a treacherous trap hole, the Cybernetic Overflow. Insanely good, super fun. Let's hop back into the deck replay, or the deck real quick. Now, this deck it can be inconsistent. So if you wanted to, you could also play something like My Monster Cards, which guarantees that I believe 2 of your cards will be monster cards, right? Level 4 or lower monster cards, which is really useful for this, right? The reason I figured not to play it is because Cyber Style is also really incredibly useful. Super good. But if you do want to play My Monster Cards, you can do that. That would probably make it a little bit more consistent with drawing your core. It would make it about probably an 80-something%, if not more, to just draw up your Cyber Dragon core. Or at the very least, you'd have like a Veer with, another Veer or Dre or something like that, right? Now the reason, that gives up Cyber Style, which means you don't really necessarily have to play Cosmic Cyclone. You can play other tech cards, right? There aren't many other tech cards. You could run Wall of Disruption. You could run, I don't know. Cosmic Cyclone is just super good. So, you could run Cosmic Cyclone. You could run, I guess, more Paleozoic Canadias or Floodgate Trap Holes or anything like that. So, overall, this deck is really fun. It's very fast as well. If you wanted to play it with actual Cyber Dragons, that would be a better way to play it, since you could actually use Cybernetic Overflow to send cards from the hand to the banish pile, which would also be incredibly useful. So you could do that as well, running the Cyber Dragons. But overall, really fun deck, very fast deck, very similar to something like Black Wings, where it's just like, you're not like grinding out games, right, like you would with something like Ritual Beasts or Dark Lords or something like that. You're just going in, swinging into them and winning, right? So overall, it's fun. It's super fun. If you're more in this just to have fun, play this deck. It's super easy, and it's pretty free to play friendly, right? You don't have to play Cosmic Cyclone. You could play Mirror Wall, right? You could play anything. You could play Cybernetic Fusion, right? Let's see. Cybernetic Fusion support. There you go. You pay half your life points. Then, if you fusion summon a monster, you banish the cards instead. There you go. And then that way you can also activate your Cyber Style, right? So, it is still very free to play, friendly. Those cards aren't necessary. Those cards aren't necessary, right? Those cards aren't necessary. And then all of these cards, this card, you obtain it through ranked duels, through the tickets. This card, you get it from the newest box, right? You only have to really go through it like 1.5 times to get all these cards, right? Same with Cyberload Fusion. Only about 1.5 times. You only really need one Chimera Tech Rampage Dragon, right? You only need one. You don't even need Cyber Twin Dragon. You don't even need Cyber End Dragon. However, this one I believe is a little bit, this one's easier to get, but still. So it's one of those things where it's like, it's still really free to play friendly as well. If you want to play this deck, go for it. This is the free to play kind of way, right? Just get a bunch of gems. You're gonna get a bunch of gems from the KC Cup, so use it to build this deck. There you go. Hope that you guys did indeed enjoy. If you did, a like is very much so appreciated. And if you want to see more content like this and more decks like this for the KC Cup, just be sure to subscribe. Anyway, thank you guys so much for watching, and remember to always stay frosty. Bye-bye.